Hi, it's Erin from Flying Off the Bookshelf, and today we're going to talk about our time on the Disney Dream and my honest review of the ship. But before I do that, be sure to hit subscribe to my channel. Here at Flying Off the Bookshelf, I'm all about travel, books, and Disney, so if you like any of those things, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss a video. So the Disney Dream was the first Dream class ship that Disney Cruise Line did. It first sailed in 2011, and it's one of the bigger ships. So here's the thing. It is kind of an in-between of the Magic and Wonder and then the new Disney Wish class ships, which include like the Wish and the Treasure and the Destiny. So it has more of a layout like the Magic and Wonder, but it is a bigger ship. It has a passenger capacity of 4,000 people. However, if you've seen my video about the Disney Wish, you know that I felt kind of strongly about the layout of that ship and how it made the crowds feel. So one thing about the Disney Dream is that even though the capacity is very similar to the Wish class ships, it had a much better layout, and so the ship actually felt less crowded to me. There's 14 decks on the Disney Wish, and it has a similar layout to the other ships with your restaurants and entertainment venues kind of on the lower decks, your kids clubs, then you have your staterooms, and on the upper decks you have cabanas, specialty dining, and of course the pool deck. Let's talk about the staterooms. I really love the staterooms on the Disney Dream. They're that classic old school Disney Cruise Line style that feels very nautical. I know that the staterooms on the newer ships are brighter, but I love this classic interior. And of course, it has the same double bathroom layout that all Disney Cruise Line ships have, where you have a toilet and sink in one bathroom and a shower and sink in another bathroom, which makes it so easy to get ready with the whole family. There were a couple things I didn't love about these staterooms though. First of all, the closet doors did not slide, which meant that if you had the bathroom doors open and the closet doors open at the same time, it was pretty much impossible to get around. You had to shut doors. The doors would kind of get in the way of each other. Also, our outlets did not work well. I actually had to plug my phone in across the room at night because the cord would not stay plugged into the outlet next to my bed. So this seems like something that should be fixed with a dry dock at some point. I'm not sure if it's a problem across lots of staterooms, but it was definitely an issue in ours. Okay, let's talk about dining on the Disney Dream. Like all Disney cruise ships, you have rotational dining where you are assigned a restaurant each night and your servers rotate with you to each restaurant. There are 3 rotational dining restaurants on the Disney Dream. You have Animator's Palette, Royal Palace, and the Enchanted Garden. And all of these rotational dining restaurants are included in the price of your cruise. So first up, Animator's Palette. This is a Disney Cruise Line classic, but unlike the ones on the Magic and the Wonder, this one is more Pixar themed instead of the black and white animation theming on the other ships. And the show is a fun Crush themed interactive show. We actually ate at this restaurant 3 nights of our 5-night cruise for the regular rotational dining night and then also the pirate night, and we had a Marvel Day at Sea night on our cruise. I thought the food was really good here, and I especially loved that the beef tenderloin that I ordered was actually a tenderloin as opposed to a prime rib that they try to pass off as some other kind of cut of meat. Then we had the Enchanted Garden. This is a really beautiful restaurant. Pictures and videos do not do this place justice. The menu here is much lighter with more seafood and vegetable options, and the food was absolutely delicious. There's not really a show here, but be sure to watch the lighting around the restaurant throughout your dinner because it slowly changes around the restaurant and on the ceiling as it takes you through a sunset. And last we have Royal Palace. This is the restaurant that is right off the atrium, and it has French-inspired cuisine and princess decor. To be honest, this was actually probably my favorite meal of the trip. I mean, I love French food. What's not to love about that? And it was really good. There is a big giant dining room here, but we actually ended up sitting in a separate room that was tucked back in a corner with a handful of other tables. I was disappointed not to be in the main dining room at first, but I actually ended up loving it because it was a lot quieter back here. For the buffet on the Disney Dream, you have cabanas, just like so many of the other ships. And for the pool deck restaurants, you have a Cars-themed area named Flo's Cafe that has pizza, burgers, chicken tenders, tacos, all your normal kind of quick pool deck food. There's also adults-only dining on the Dream. There's Paulo and Remy's. We actually did not get to experience one of these on this cruise, but I really want to next time. And of course, there are tons of bars and lounges on the ship. Unlike the Wish, where a lot of your bars and lounges are scattered throughout the ship, most of of the bars and lounges on the Dream are centralized in one entertainment district. There's some really unique places here, like Skyline, which kind of puts up projected views of different cities around the world, and I thought the cutest one was Pink, which is a wine and champagne bar that is designed to make you feel like you are in a champagne bubble. Okay, let's talk about the pool deck. There are 2 main pools on the Disney Dream with a couple other smaller dipping pools. To be honest, most of the time we spent on the pool deck was spent on the water slides, but the pools never looked way too crowded to me. I don't think it's as good of a layout as what is on the newer Wish ships, but I still thought it was fine. The main slide here is the Aqueduct. It is so fun. I loved it. I think it's way better than the Aqua Mouse because you spend a lot more time sliding as opposed to on the Aqua Mouse. On the Wish, you go uphill so much. I love this one. It's family friendly and so fun. You also have Mickey Slide, which is the little yellow slide, but there is an age restriction and height restriction here, so it is not available for adults to do. There was always a line for the Aqueduct, and it was usually pretty long. However, a couple tips to get a shorter line is to come back early from your Castaway Cay or Lighthouse Point day and get in line as soon as you get on the ship. Before you even go back to your room, don't change clothes, go straight to the pool deck and go to the slide. Also, during dinner, no one is on the slide, but it's still running. So if you want to cut your dinner short, skip your dinner, I don't really recommend that, but that is a way that you can get on the Aqueduct without a line. Just like other Disney cruise ships, there are characters all the time everywhere. If you check your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app, it'll tell you what characters will be out when. We saw all kinds of characters on our cruise, from Mickey Mouse to Mulan to Marvel characters, and of course they were in their special costumes on Pirate Night. There's lots of daytime activities too, like trivia, family karaoke, game shows, and of course our favorite one is watching the Diaper Dash where they race crawling babies. I will say though that our cruise had a Marvel Day at Sea, and I was a little disappointed about this because I'm not a giant Marvel fan. I like it fine, but I wasn't interested in going to Marvel trivia or Marvel events. I would have much rather had a day of more general cruise activities that they normally had. Disney Cruise Line is also known for their Broadway style shows, and on our sailing there were 3 different ones: the Golden Mickeys, Beauty and the Beast, and Disney's Believe. I loved all of them. I don't always love the kind of review style shows where they try to go through so many different characters and songs. Sometimes they can get a little cheesy, but the Golden Mickeys and Disney's Believe were both this kind of show where they have lots of characters, lots of songs all tied into one story, and I thought they were both really great. And then we had Beauty and the Beast, which is very much more like the Broadway version of the show. It was really, really well done. And of course you have your kids clubs too, with lots of activities for the kids. There's the Oceaneer Club and Oceaneer Lab for kids ages 3 to 10, Edge for kids ages 11 to 14, and Vibe for your teens. We visited all 3 of them and they were all 3 so well done. So you'll definitely want to check these out if you are traveling with a kiddo. Usually on the first day they have an open house where the whole family can go and register and explore it. So definitely make sure you make time to do that when you get on your cruise. And then I want to talk about the spa some. The Senses Spa and Salon. I have not always had a great spa experience on Disney cruises. I haven't done a ton, but on the Magic I had a massage at the spa and it was not a good experience. However, on this cruise, I decided to treat myself to a pass for the Rainforest Room, and oh my goodness, what a magical experience. I loved it so much. The Rainforest Room is a relaxation space for adults. It has saunas, hot tubs, cold showers, and heated stone loungers to relax on. I loved this space so much. When I got on, I meant to get a day pass, but I ended up getting a cruise long pass, and I'm so glad I did. I went here pretty much every day and absolutely loved it. Okay, so what did I really think about the Disney Dream? I think you can tell from this video, but I would 100% sail on the Dream again. I loved everything about the ship, and I loved that it was a bigger ship with more to do than the Magic and the Wonder, but it had a better layout and had that classic feel like the Magic and Wonder without what I think is a confusing layout on the Wish. This is probably my favorite ship that I have sailed so far, so I would definitely do it again. Most of the itineraries here are 3, 4, and 5 night Bahamian cruises. Sometimes they do go to Europe, and I would book any of the itineraries, but I would definitely be interested in booking something on this ship that is different from what we've done, which was go to Castaway Cay Key and Lighthouse Point, but I wouldn't complain about a repeat itinerary on the same ship because I thought it was fantastic. So those are my thoughts on the Disney Dream. If you've been on the Disney Dream, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Also, if you're planning a Disney cruise, I will put a link in the description of this video to my Disney cruise packing list with everything you need for a cruise, including things you may not think of. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit like and subscribe so you never miss a video, and I'll see you next time.